Yes, I was telling.
Hold on.
Oh.
I mean, we're taping, but I gotta edit it. Let me give you my 3, 2, 1 so I can. Jeez, gotta teach him everything. Hey guys, so I told you my dad was gonna be back. We're gonna go out and do a little bit more shearing. It's been pretty warm here in Maine, and now that the sun's gone down behind the trees, it's a little bit more palatable to be outside in the tree field. So we're gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna
Come on.
try to find a tree that needs a lot of love and a lot of attention, and we'll show you how, well, Dad will show you how he goes about doing some aggressive shearing. And then maybe we'll find a couple that are ready to go that will be cut out of the field this year and show how we just kind of give them a little bit of a haircut. How long have you been shearing Christmas trees for?
Since I was 15 years old.
All right.
So I had a big break in between.
Well, tell them about that.
Well, my neighbor moved up here when I was about 14, and he grew Christmas trees. If you knew my parents, that was the perfect summer job for me, and I didn't really have much say in it. So I sheared trees for about 6 years for him.
Now, what kind of trees were?
We started with Scotch pine and went to spruce. We did spruce, we did Doug fir, we did balsam. We did them all.
And now we're back into balsams. We pretty much have all balsams here.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
Why are they your favorite?
Because of the smell.
The smell? It's pretty much the Christmas tree smell.
And they're a good look. The needles are softer than spruce. Spruce are, you know, kind of prickly. I don't like Scotch pine because you can't put an ornament on it, but that's just me.
Well, we all have our opinions.
Yeah.
Well, let's go find a tree to shear, and you can show us how you're going to shear that tree. Let's find an aggressive, one that needs some aggressive love.
Okay, so this tree did not get sheared for a couple years. And so you can see there's a lot of spaces in it, but I don't really want to give up on it right now. Because see what a great, I mean, the growth on it's fantastic. So I think I will do some radical shearing here. And if it doesn't work, it don't work, you know. But I'm going to take out this honking part here and leave this second one and trim these back. You can still see buds right here, so I can take it back to there rather dramatically. And what I'm trying to do here is to get it to flesh it out. I don't want it to be already at 7 feet tall. Well, so that's why I'm going to go with the weaker thing. Anyway, let me get started, and maybe it will work and maybe it won't. This tree here, we're just going to take that out. Like I told you before, tip your shears upside down. You get this natural angle here, whereas if you do this way, and like I told you before, you end up, first of all, your tree ends up looking like a shelf as opposed to a cone. So that's what we're going for. And we should mark this tree next year to see if it's if what we did was successful. So anyway, just taking the tips and the sides, and that's it. Because we want it to fill out. So I'm not going to be very aggressive here, because I want as much of it to fill in as we possibly can. Most of the energy goes into the well, I don't know what you call it. I'd call it the crown. It has a word for it, but where you get all of the side pieces and the lateral branch right there. By removing that, it forces the other buds that have already formed for next year to grow. So that's what makes them bush out. So I'm taking this out. Here we go. Let's hope for the best. Okay. Hey, that didn't look too bad, you know. So we're going with this. Cutting these back a little heavier than we did the other. And by glory, I think we have a tree here. It doesn't look like we took it out. It looks just like a normal tree. We still got a nice cone shape to it. And I didn't take much off. So there's quite a few lateral, some buds in there, so we should be good. A happy tree.
A happy tree.
Okay, the gentleman I used to work for, his name was Carlton Hodges, and he was always clip the leader, always. And I used to argue with him when the leader wasn't that big. No, clip the leader, clip the leader. But on this one, I'm leaving these, and I'm going to leave the leader. Only because if you can see, if Matt shows you the tree itself, it's pretty fat around here. So, in this case, I want the tree to grow up, so I don't want to force it to fill in at the bottom, because it's already pretty filled in. So this one, there's a possibility that we might cut that this year. It's not a perfectly thick tree, you can see. However, my personal taste is I like this because this is a great tree to hang ornaments on. When I was a kid, we used to hang beads or garland on it. Well, a lot of trees you can't do that, but on this one we do have lots of long ones out. So since this one's, we're planning on going this year, I would lightly shear it. Like there is these things that are sticking out. Okay, we got to bring those in, but a lot of it won't need it. And that way at Christmas you won't have a stub that you cut off as much like this, which of course this will heal anyway, but basically we're just going to even this up ever so lightly. Now, if for some reason this tree doesn't go this year, I can come back after Christmas, March, shear it a little bit heavier so that we won't be stuck with a gangly Christmas tree. So you may have to stop me. Sometimes I get carried away, but like I said, I'm just leaving it a little bit so you still have some spaces in it. It's like when your kids are little and the dentist says spaces are good. Well, I like spaces on trees. And I know there are people that don't. They want that perfect Christmas tree. But then there's no way to hang anything on. So that's what I like about this one. On a fir tree, the buds have already formed for next year. They may not be very big, but they're already there. On a pine, if you don't shear them while the growth is very young, it hasn't hardened off yet, that's when they form. If you shear them after they've hardened off, they're not going to make any new buds for the next year. So what you get the following year after you've sheared it and there's no buds, you get these very odd things at the end of the branches. It's not. So you shear those early while the tree is still supple and new growth, and then they will form a bud for next year. But if it is, now see this one, I'm going to lead a nice tall leader for the star or angel, whichever you prefer. Okay, now see this? This is growing into the tree. It's kind of like an ingrown toenail, kind of homely. So I take them out. And that's a judgment call because sometimes, like you see this one did it at one point, but that's okay because it's in. But when they go directly in, it's not very attractive. Okay, so this one's done. However, if we don't sell it, I would come back and trim these, you know, just a little bit heavier. See, now I don't like that. So we get rid of that. So there you go.
It's a good looking tree.
Of course it is. I sheared it. Hey, listen, I was just telling Matt that the guy I used to shear for, because he told me that I go fast. Well, when I sheared trees, he had, toward the end of my career in shearing with him, he had about 100,000 trees. And there were 5 of us that did it. So you do the math on that, and I was shearing 20,000 trees a year. So yeah, I'm fast. I remember we used to go to this one tree farm that was out in the boondocks. So we always used to have to bring our lunch with us, and we ate on a rock wall. It was a nice place, and that's where we'd eat lunch. And my mother would make something called pink tea, which was Kool-Aid and a can of frozen concentrate lemonade. You gotta try it. It is awesome. One day we were shearing, and I had stepped along a thing, and I could hear buzzing like bees, a bee's nest. And I remember saying, well, where are the bees? Because, you know, once in a while you'll get them in a tree. And come to find out, they were what we call ground wasps. They had a nest, and guess who was stepping on it? So they couldn't get out because I was apparently stepping on the hole. Carlton and his crew told everybody to run, and I had to stand there, and then they all ran away, and then it's like, okay, he says, go. And he said, don't run in a straight line, weave through the trees. Well, I'm telling you, I took off like a bat out of hell. And I made it, didn't get stung. So there's another little tidbit. Watch out for trees, and watch out for snakes in the tree. I've also sheared trees where at eye level, thank God I didn't have that row. Carlton's wife had it, and she's shearing a tree, and staring her in the face is this garter snake. And needless to say, we had to talk her into coming back that day. But so there, little adventures in tree shearing. Yeah, Daisy wants to go. She's thirsty. It's very hot today, and tomorrow, and Monday. So, as Matt always says, it's better to feel, I'd rather feel bad in Maine than feel good anywhere else.
So there you go, my friends. We'll see you soon.